Before every empire, before every fortune, before every breakthrough the world has ever known, there was a spark. A fire that burned so fiercely inside a human being that the universe itself seemed to bend around their will. That fire is desire. Not wishful thinking. Not idle hope. But burning desire, the kind that consumes every doubt, every excuse, and every limitation until only one thing remains, the vision you refuse to die without. It was desire that pulled Edison out of failure after 1,000 experiments. Desire that made Henry Ford see cars when the world only saw horses. Desire that carried Lincoln through humiliation, defeat, and heartbreak until destiny crowned him with greatness. You see, the world doesn't yield to the faint-hearted. It bows to those who burn. The man who wants success will quit when it's hard. The man who must succeed will keep walking when his feet bleed. Because his desire is not a preference, it's oxygen. It's not something he hopes for, it's something he can't live without. And that's what separates the dreamers from the achievers. The world is full of men who wish, but only a few who will. Understand this, every great transformation begins within. Before gold is mined, before empires rise, before inventions change the world, something happens in the mind. A man or woman looks at what is and dares to see what could be. That act alone defies the natural order. It takes courage to believe in a vision no one else can see. Because at first, desire looks like madness. People will call you unrealistic, obsessed, delusional. They'll tell you to be practical, to slow down, to play it safe. But no one ever built greatness playing it safe. Desire is madness, the divine kind. It's the force that moves mountains, the fire that turns ordinary lives into legends. It makes you restless when others are content. It keeps you awake at night when others sleep peacefully in mediocrity. Edison couldn't stop experimenting because he had to see the light. Disney couldn't stop drawing because he had to bring magic to life. They were possessed by purpose. And that's what burning desire really is, possession. When your dream owns you so completely that failure becomes irrelevant. Desire alone isn't enough, it must be fed by belief. Because every fire, no matter how fierce, will die without fuel. Belief is the oxygen of desire. It's what keeps it alive when everything around you screams, impossible. When Napoleon Hill interviewed the titans of industry, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Edison, he discovered something extraordinary. They all had one thing in common, an unshakable conviction that they would win. Not arrogance. Not ego. But the calm certainty of a man who knows that the seed he's planted must grow, because the laws of nature demand it. If you believe long enough and act strong enough, the universe bends to meet you. Not because it's magic, but because faith unlocks focus. And focus turns desire into discipline. When you know something is yours, you stop negotiating with your fears. You stop hesitating. You stop doubting. You simply move, with purpose, with faith, with fire. Belief doesn't mean there's no fear. It means you keep walking through the fear. Because you trust that something greater is carrying you forward. Every great achiever has walked through valleys of doubt, but they never stayed there. They had faith in the unseen, in the intangible, in the law that thoughts become things. And so they burned, not with anger, but with clarity. Not with impatience, but with certainty. If belief is oxygen, then vision is the compass. Without vision, desire becomes chaos, energy without direction. You must see it before you can seize it. Not vaguely. Not someday. But vividly, specifically, emotionally, as if it's already yours. Hill called it a definite chief aim. A single, crystal-clear vision that consumes the mind. Because when the mind holds a picture long enough, reality begins to obey it. Think about it, everything around you once existed only as a thought. This world is built by thinkers who refuse to let their ideas die in imagination. Your phone, your car, your home, your job, all born in the invisible realm of someone's vision. So ask yourself, what picture are you holding? Because your life will always move in the direction of your dominant thought. You become what you think about, not once, but repeatedly. Hold the image of your future so clearly that you can touch it in your mind before your hands ever do. Feel the joy of the victory before it arrives. Live it internally, and your external world will begin to adjust. That's the law. The same law that turned a rail splitter into a president, a bankrupt dreamer into an empire builder, a silent wish into roaring destiny. Now here's the truth most people never grasp. Desire without discipline is nothing but smoke. It looks powerful, it feels inspiring, but it disappears the moment the wind changes. If you want your desire to build something real, it must be forged in action. Every day. Relentlessly. Desire may start the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. When the excitement fades, when motivation is gone, when you feel like quitting, discipline takes the wheel. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your habits. And your habits are proof of what you truly desire. Because if you really want something, your actions will show it. The man who says he wants success but sleeps in, doesn't. The woman who says she wants freedom but never plans her day, doesn't. Desire is proven by consistency. That's why the greats treated discipline like sacred law. Ford worked relentlessly to perfect his first engine. Edison spent months reworking one single filament. Carnegie studied business strategy like a monk studies scripture. Because they knew, it's not what you do once, it's what you do repeatedly that defines your destiny. Every rep, every page, every call, every late night, it compounds. It builds invisible momentum that one day erupts into visible success. That's how it works. Always. Purpose is what keeps the fire alive when the world goes dark. Because let's be honest, there will be days when nothing works. When doors close, plans fail, and the world seems deaf to your effort. But if your desire is rooted in purpose, not pride, you'll keep going. Desire that's born from ego burns out fast. Desire born from purpose burns forever. Edison didn't want fame, he wanted light. Carnegie didn't just want money, he wanted to build. Disney didn't chase glory, he chased wonder. Purpose transforms pain into fuel. It turns every rejection into redirection. It gives your suffering meaning. And meaning is what keeps human beings unbreakable. When you move with purpose, your spirit becomes untouchable. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop chasing validation. Because you finally understand, this mission is yours. No one can take it, no one can replace it, and no one can complete it for you. Your purpose is the unique intersection between your pain and your potential. It's what happens when what hurt you most becomes what helps others most. You weren't given desire to tease you. You were given desire to guide you, to lead you toward your destiny. So when the fire dims, don't ask, why is this so hard? Ask instead, why did I start? And let that purpose remind you of who you are and what you came to do. There comes a point where thinking isn't enough. Where writing goals, dreaming big, and visualizing success must give way to movement. Because no amount of wishing can replace the power of doing. Desire whispers. Action roars. The world doesn't respond to thoughts alone, it responds to decisions. To action taken with belief behind it. Faith without work is noise. Desire without effort is fantasy. Every great mind that ever shaped this world knew that thought must be turned into labor, sweat, sacrifice, repetition. When Napoleon Hill wrote "Think and Grow Rich," he didn't mean think only. He meant think with intensity, believe with conviction, and act with persistence. Because when thought and action unite, the invisible becomes visible. Look at Thomas Edison, thousands of experiments, countless failures, endless nights. But he didn't call them failures. He called them discoveries. He said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is desire in motion. That is faith walking. When your heart burns with purpose, you'll stop waiting for perfect timing. You'll move now. You'll start small, but you'll start strong. Because the universe rewards the brave, not the hesitant. Action is the match that ignites destiny. Every step, every risk, every courageous moment tells life, "I'm serious." And when life knows you're serious, it opens doors. Not immediately. Not all at once. But one by one, in perfect order, until everything you've been envisioning begins to unfold before your eyes. But make no mistake, every desire will be tested. Every dream must pass through the furnace. Because only pressure can prove purity. And only resistance can reveal strength. The road to greatness is littered with the remains of those who quit too soon. They had desire, yes, but it was shallow. It was the kind of fire that burns bright and dies young. You can't build empires with sparks. You build them with embers, the kind that survive the storm. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. Every time life knocks you to your knees, you rise sharper, stronger, more refined. Because failure doesn't destroy those with burning desire, it refines them. It burns away doubt, weakness, hesitation, until only faith remains. Think of Abraham Lincoln. 8 elections lost. Countless heartbreaks. Nervous breakdowns. But he kept going. Why? Because his desire was greater than his despair. Or Henry Ford, laughed at by bankers, ridiculed by rivals, rejected by investors. Yet he kept building. Because the fire in his mind was stronger than the noise outside it. You cannot be unstoppable until you've been stopped and kept going anyway. You cannot become unbreakable until you've been broken and rebuilt yourself stronger. Every setback is a test. How badly do you want it? Do you want it enough to keep walking through failure? Do you want it enough to bleed for it? Do you want it enough to outlast the noise, the critics, the chaos, the years? Because that is what separates the few from the many. The majority quit when it hurts. The rare few, the ones we remember, rise up. There's one secret most people never grasp. Gratitude doesn't come after success, it's what creates it. Because gratitude keeps your desire pure. It keeps your energy aligned with abundance instead of desperation. When you move from gratitude, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop complaining about what you lack and start multiplying what you have. That shift alone changes everything. Every morning you wake up with breath in your lungs, that's opportunity. Every failure that didn't destroy you, that's progress. Every lesson that came from pain, that's wisdom. Gratitude turns obstacles into allies. It transforms setbacks into stepping stones. It reminds you that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. And the more thankful you are, the more energy you have to act. Because nothing drains power faster than frustration. And nothing restores it faster than appreciation. Gratitude is how you signal the universe that you're ready for more. It says, "I see the good in what I have, and I'm ready to expand it." That's how the greats lived, not from scarcity, but from abundance. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created them with vision, belief, and relentless gratitude. You must understand this truth: success is not random. It's not luck, and it's not favor. It's a law. A law that rewards those who desire with intensity, believe with certainty, and act with persistence. The law of fire. Whatever you hold in your mind with faith and emotion long enough, you become. It's not poetry. It's physics of the spirit. Energy follows attention. And attention builds reality. So if you think in limitation, you'll live in limitation. If you think in power, you'll walk in power. Because you always become what you repeatedly think.